Hello, everybody, and welcome to Problem Solve Her podcast. I am your girl, Chloe, along with my girl,
Dagmar.
Daggie's in the house, Chloe's in the house, Oliver's over here in the house, the kitties are in the house. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a fun, cool, innovative, awesome podcast where we share our stories and experiences. And it's a safe space to learn and to grow. And we hope that these episodes are fabulous for you and exciting. And even if we sprinkle a little bit of advice or wisdom, because that's all we do is give advice and wisdom. And we just love to share our own personal experiences and stories. And I am obsessed with the topic today. What are we
That's
discussing?
beautiful. So the topic today is, what does love mean to you?
You want to go first or you want
Yep.
me to go first?
As I was a teenager, love meant to me my prince will come and everything will be like beautiful. And then as I was in my 20s, love meant to me getting married, having a house and having children. And I was in my 30s and 40s. Love meant good life, enjoying life, traveling, and living in the moment. And now these days, love means to me having inner peace and calmness and happiness. So it
Oh,
totally changed over the years.
that's interesting. Yeah, you hit like every seasons and all the decades. When I was young, I'm trying to think because the first thought of kind of like what's love is, like a crush on a kid in like fourth grade or something. You're like butterflies. You're like, oh my God. You go home and you tell your parents, Johnny's so cute. He just moved here from Arizona and I love him. When you're young, you don't know anything about what love means. And then, my parents had explained to me when I was young that love is your family, it's the people closest to you, it's the people you trust, and the ones that are around you that make you feel good about yourselves. They were explaining it in very simple terms as a child. So I always just remember thinking that. And the family members that I liked the most when I was growing up were the ones that like would come over, like my aunt, my dad's sister, and I were so close. She was just like, "Oh, I love you. You're so cute. Come here, my little Pisha." She'd speak to me in Yiddish, my little Shadel and Madela. And I was like, well, I know I love her because she's giving me so much love and so much affection. Or, my dog, I had a cat. I don't know if I ever told you this. We had our family cat, Coco. I was obsessed with her. And something tragic happened to her from our neighbor's dog. But I was in maybe like sixth, seventh grade. And I was like, oh my God, I just love this cat. This is love. You know what love means. And obviously my parents and my brother. And I think when I fell in love for the first time, or I thought I did, right? Because when we look back when we're younger, we're like, I wasn't in love with that person. That was lust. I thought I was in love with my first boyfriend. He was, 4 years older than me. And he was like the star football player. And I was so in love. And no, I wasn't. I thought I was. And then, yeah, my 20s love was more like I love all my friends and the people I'm close to in my circles living in Manhattan. In New York City, people think it's such an amazing and incredible place to live, which it is, but it also can be lonely because there's 8 million people in the city, right? So you're like, oh God, I can't love all these people. I don't even know half of them. I don't even know a quarter of them. And then I think that, like you, love change in different ways, whether, in a relationship for me, it wasn't just love. It was, am I in love with this person? And at my age where I am now, as you get older and more mature, like you, for me, love is the same thing. It's just peaceful, relaxing, no drama, surrounding myself with loving people and trying to have the most fun and just affection and all these great things that, give you love. And then when I, birthed Oliver, because in my mind, I gave birth to him 2.5 years ago. I've always had dogs growing up in my whole life. In Jamaica, we had so many dogs over the years. We had 5 before I left. We had my family dog that lived till almost 19. Oliver, the love that I have for him, this is for me, would be like if I had a child, that's how this different kind of love that you have. I'm so in love with him. He's such a good boy. He's the best dog I've ever had. And that love is like, oh my God, it's like emotional. It's so amazing and it's so beautiful. But the word to me, the word love for me, the actual word itself, obviously is a feeling. But it's something you get inside you. You know, if it's a new relationship and you think you're maybe falling in love with someone, it's the butterflies. It's that instant, the connection, the physical, the emotional. So I feel like, the word love is for a lot of different people in your life, and it can mean a lot of many, many things.
Yep.
Do you agree?
Mhm. While you were sharing that, and I think was really lovely, I thought about how much our childhood first brands us what we think what love is. Like in your case, you saw your parents, how they were treating each other, how they were communicating with each other. And I imagine that's what you thought that's what love is in a relationship. And for me, the same. I saw my parents and how they were dealing with each other. And at the time, and like for sure, the environment shapes them too, right? Where they live
Yeah.
and the time when they live. And also, like, in what society, in village or in a city, in rural area, or where you have a lot of multicultural people. So what was interesting, how seeing this and just assuming this is how love is, right? How two people communicate and deal with each other, how this gets anchored in you and puts you in a role and in a position for future relationships, for the better or for the worse.
Absolutely. I love the way that you just explained that. And we talk about this a lot on here. Our environment shapes us. It doesn't mean, though, when we get older, right, we have to hold ourselves to that, but it has a massive influence on who we become as adults. And love can be a very strong bond and a friendship with someone that you've been close with for years and years and decades. It could be a sibling or a cousin that you just have so much love and respect for. I have former bosses that I work for that I'm still friendly with, that I love them out of respect, not love as in, so in love with this person, but I love who they are as a former boss and a mentor and someone that I really respect. And I think that that's really important as well. Not only should it be, because when you think of the word love, instantly people think of my husband, my child, right? But I think it goes beyond that. And I think that we can find different types of love in different stages in our life with different people and in different relationships, whether it's family, friends, or someone from work.
The other thing too is what surrounds love, right? Does freedom and joy and happiness surround love and your society's belief, or is it fear driven,
Mm.
right? Is it manipulated what love is so that subconsciously you make the decision, the love decision, what is expected from you without that there is an open saying about it. Like, as I grew up, love was when you get married. That is love. If you don't get married, he doesn't love you.
Wow.
And so you did not focus on being best friends or having great communications or having the same interests or having the same ethics or beliefs or goals in life. Your focus was to get married, and that his goal was to get married. And then you thought that will work because both want the same. But at the end, it was really coming from society. When you had a specific age, like at that time was like 21, 22, latest 23, 24, 26, 27 was already old to get married.
Which is
Well,
crazy by
then,
today's standards.
and you normally should have children because at that point, the biological clock was ticking. So with 35 was really just on the edge for the first child.
That's so wild to even think like that. Generation,
Generational.
ge- generationally, yes. Thank you. I had a little brain fart there. When my grandparents, who were married for over 60 years, in the 30s, it was like people would set you up, especially in certain cultures, right? And or families knew each other. My aunt and my uncle, my dad's sister and her husband, they knew each other for 1 month. And my aunt went to him, and she was this tiny little thing, this sassy little Jewish princess. I did the best she went. Martin, are you going to marry me or what? And he's like, Aaron, I've only known you for a month. She goes, okay, well, I have guys lined up around the corner. So what are you going to do about it? And he was so scared to lose her. And they were, many, many years, over 50. And it was amazing. But, things like that unfortunately don't happen today. I'm lucky my parents are still together. Of course, they still argue about silly things, right? Like, did you unload the dishwasher? How come you didn't save me that cup of coffee and you threw it away? Like silly things like that. But fundamentally, they're on the same page and they love to travel together and golf and all these things. So I think over time, like you said, it's really changed. To think about it, when you're younger, it's like, oh, if he doesn't love you, he's not marrying you. Well, I had so many boyfriends that were in love with me, and I didn't want to marry them. So what does that say about me? And today, and I have so many friends that are having kids in their 40s, and it's totally normal. I'm talking like mid to late 40s, and the kids are fine, and genetically they came out, thank God, and they're perfect and great kids. It's just times are changing. Women are more independent. They want to love. They want to be in love, especially if you live in really big cities where women can be successful and have great careers and make money, like New York, like, San Francisco and Silicon Valley. And all my friends in London that got married later because they had great jobs, because they were in love with their work and they didn't want to sacrifice that. So I can speak as someone who's never been married, who's been in love many times, and who's had a lot of boyfriends that have wanted to marry me. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so independent. I love I love you, but I love my career too. And I want to, I'm thriving in New York, and I'm loving my life." And I really like what you said though. At your stage now, it's so we can look at the past and say, "Oh, this is how I viewed love and what it meant to me over these decades." And there's nothing like the present and how you feel about it right now in this moment. I love you as a sister, as a sistren, as your family for life, no matter what. I could get in an argument with you tomorrow and you could tell me I'm annoying or you don't like the way I'm hailing something, or anyone could. But if I love you and you're in my inner, I love you, we'll get through anything. Doesn't matter. Can't get rid of me. I'm a lifer. I'm extremely loyal. Unless somebody really, really does me dirty, right? And it's like an ultimate disrespect. Otherwise, I'm in for the long haul and I love everyone I'm close to. And I'd like to say that I don't really have any people in my life, in my inner circle, that I don't absolutely love, because I don't want them if I don't love them. Simple. I'm talking friends, family, significant other.
Yeah. So, from my experience, what you just said, this I love you comes from the inside out. And a lot of times, people I met who wanted everybody as their friend and who wanted to be the woman or the man, it came from the outside in. There was something missing in them, what they needed to fill from the outside.
So you're saying it wasn't genuine.
Right. It was not genuine. It had a purpose. This relationship, this friendship, this love connection was to make them feel better about themselves.
Mm.
It was not about a genuine feeling and two people wanting to be together just because.
I know a lot of women when I was in my, like, I want to say early 30s, not 20s. People weren't freaking out about getting married in their 20s when I was growing up, at least. But in their 30s, they would kind of say, "Oh my God, the next guy that just falls in love with me, I don't care. I'm just going to marry him. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'll grow in love with him. I'll figure it out." I know a lot of women that said that and had said it to me when I was in my 30s and I was dating a very, very successful guy, Jewish, went to an Ivy League school. Like, on paper, you're like, marry this guy tomorrow. And they're, "Come on, you have to marry me soon." And I'm like, if I am not physically and emotionally connected enough to someone, I might be in other areas. And I believe that men and women should be best friends before they fall in love. I honestly, truly, I don't want to say solely that they have to be, but in my experience, when you get to understand and know someone, like a new friendship, right? Like two girls, I meet someone in my building, we slowly become friends, and maybe we start going out for like a happy hour. Our dogs get together, and then you go, "Oh, I really like this person. I want to spend more time. I want to understand them. Maybe they're going to be my inner circle." It's the same as dating. I feel like men and women should become extremely close, and that person should be your best friend before you fall in love with them. Or I'm not going to say it won't work, but I think that that's a really good starting foundation because you have other things to back it up. You have similar interests and hobbies, and you like to travel together, play similar sports, like the same music. You have the same background. Maybe you're both Italian, maybe you're both Catholic, maybe you're both Jewish, whatever it is. And I think that those things can help bring you together instead of just saying like, oh well, this person, they're just in love with me, so I'm going to go with that. They're head over heels for me. Okay, well, what do you like about this person? What draws you to them? Why do you think you're gonna have a great foundation? He just loves me, he'll do anything for me. No, girl, that ain't it. It's
I
not the
think
answer.
what you just mentioned, like, no matter if she loves him in the same way he loves her, I think for me, the point would be, does she value and respect him and treat him the way how he deserves it? Right. And if this is what she sees as love and what she wants to be committed to for her life, then perhaps it works and you don't have to be in the same way in love like your partner is. But if it's just to be done, so you don't have to date anymore, to look anymore, if you're not committed to the other person, then after a while, you will see what you don't like on the other person and it will annoy you or make you angry or frustrated or sad or hurt or something like that. And then the base is not there.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. I also believe that this is not the old days anymore where people slept in separate beds. And well, actually, let me take that back. If I was to get married in the next few years, I would want my own bed. I just watched someone on TikTok that said, and my friend has this in California, this is my husband's bedroom and this is my bedroom. And we're together. And then when it's time to go to sleep, we go in separate rooms because we're both light sleepers. And I don't want someone breathing on me. I don't want someone's heat on me. But I think that people should try, if they can, to live together before thinking about getting married if you're truly in love. Because I know several people that only dated, and my aunt is a very rare story, 1 month and like, it lasted, which was amazing, where they got engaged too quickly and they didn't really know who the person was. And then maybe they knew them only 9 months or a year, and then they're married and it's a year or two and they already had a kid and they didn't have time to get to know each other really. And I truly believe it takes years and years to really, truly know who somebody is inside and out, their true essence and their character, and what makes you really, truly fall in love with them. So a short amount of time is really hard. You might think you're in love, but it might be lust. But I'm curious, do you believe in love at first sight? Do you think that someone can walk by somebody on the street or see them in a restaurant or bar or be set up on a blind date and they know instantly, like, I'm going to fall in love with this person? It's happening right now.
Okay, let me answer it differently. I believe in that humans have a soul. And I believe that two humans can recognize their soul. So that's for me love in first sight.
Soulmates.
Soulmates could be romantic or could be two friends, right? That they both love each other so much, like they just appreciate and cherish each other so much and they really enjoy their company. So that's what I believe in. I believe in soulmates. Yeah.
Soul sisters and soul brothers. They call 'em soul sisters and bromances.
Yeah.
I do know this, and I'm going to tell people a little story here. Going out on a limb here. I probably shouldn't, depending on who's listening, but ready?
Hmm.
So there was a guy I was talking to for a while, just like as a friend, nothing. And he would, asked me out. And I said, no, until I'm fully done with this relationship that I've had for almost a decade. And, I'm still in love with this person, and which I still am. I'm trying, you can't just wake up and go, fall out of love now. You just keep telling yourself that you're going to move on with your life, and every day you try to do something. Anyway, so this person wanted to hang out and, kind of just more like on a friendly, like, let's grab a drink. And I said, why not? Somewhere in public. It's not romantic. It's not a big deal. And I did recently. And I had only met him like on FaceTime because it was through a friend of mine who said you guys would really get along. We talked a lot. And as soon as I saw it's literally, it was like, hi, hey, great to finally meet you. Hug. What would you like to drink? I was like, nope, in my head. Nope. I know they say that a man knows within 5 minutes if he's attracted to a woman and if he thinks he can marry her in the future. And you go, that's crazy. It's not. I can tell you in the first 35 seconds of meeting somebody if I'm attracted to them or not, and if I'm going to have synergy. That's just me. And when they say, oh, but people grow on you. No, men are not plants. They're not flowers. They're not growing in my backyard. Or I'm not putting ice. They're not my orchids that I'm putting ice in every week. So it really depends. Everyone is different. I have friends and I know people that are like, "Oh, I'm not really sure." And then they start, "Oh, he's growing on me and I really think I like him now." And then it's, "Oh, or I think we might start I'm either 100% from like the jump, full throttle, let's hang out every day, get to know each other. I'm not here to waste my time." Or no, and I know instantly. So, I think that might go hand in hand with love. It's like when you meet someone, some people can tell, like, I don't think I could ever fall in love with this person. And I'm sure a lot of that comes with whether you're attracted to them, the way they present themselves, the way they look, the way their mannerisms are, just the way they're even talking to you in a moment. You might go, no. It might even be their voice. And you're like, I'm not living with this voice for 30 years. It could be, it could be a lot of things.
For me, it depends on what inner stage I'm in. If I'm looking for a relationship, I can feel it like you immediately. If I'm not looking, or if I'm stressed out, if I'm overwhelmed, I think that would hinder me to really be able to tap into my subconsciousness in this way and know if this person is meant for me or not.
You sound like my dad. He's like, you're not ready because men pick up on that. You're not showing you're available. I'm like, because I'm really not yet. And but I can still tell if I'm going to, I can do both. I know it's kind of hard to do that. I understand what you're saying because you're like, I can't put my focus on this. I'm not in the mindset to be looking for a relationship. And because I'm really not. If Brad Pitt fell into my lap or Idris Elba tomorrow at Whole Foods, great. But I'm not out there really looking. I'm not searching for a guy. I'm not one of those girls who's like going
Sorry,
out to happy hour.
Brad.
Love you, Brad. You know, but Dagmar, I'm not going out to happy hour every Thursday. I'm not going to singles events. I'm not going on the singles booze cruises. I'm not doing any of these things because I'm really not. And I also don't think that you should force it. If something's going to happen or it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. I'm going to be on a plane to the Hamptons in a few weeks' time, going to New York. Maybe the guy sitting next to me in Delta Comfort will, who knows? But I leave it up to God. It's in the universe's hands. Facts, period, as you would say.
Yep. I think the other thing what we didn't talk about yet, what does love mean to you? I had an ex-boyfriend. Because of his childhood, he had the seeking to perform for others,
Mm.
to feel loved and feel alive, because with his mother, that was the only way how he got attention when he was performing for her, acting for her, singing for her, playing instrument for her, right? So when we are together and outside his pub environment, he was more like an introvert, quieter, very thoughtful, very considerate. Then when we came to the pub, The performer came out, one who wanted to make everybody happy and be funny so everybody could laugh and think, what a great guy. And that killed my love for him. I could not understand. Now I understand how this can happen, that there's a hole inside, right? And that he enjoyed my love and felt my love, and it gave him stability and grounded him, but he was not able to give it back to me. Not in a way.
No, he took that love and he used it when he was in public and performing and trying to show off and look at me and I'm so funny and I'm the center of attention. And what that did was it turned you off. Well, that's another thing. We can be in love with somebody and something can happen like this or certain instances that turn us off so much that we can find a way to easily fall out of love with someone. Sometimes it takes a really, really long time. I know this because I'm, kind of still in it a little bit where it's hard to fall out of love with somebody because there's no, you think about things and you try, but there can be, I don't want to say catastrophic, but certain moments where you get, as we call it, the ick, and we're like, no. And that's what happened to you when you're like, no. And you don't drink anyway, and you don't like that environment. So for you, it's like the ick was there, you're done.
Just amazed me because he said he loves me and he felt he loved me, but he could not see how his personality changed depending on the situation. So I think, what does love mean? What love meant for him was totally different than what love meant.
Two people can be in love with each other, but what the meaning is different for the other person. So that's another way to look at it. You know, I've also been in relationships where I've loved someone and had so much respect and like a deep connection with them, but I wasn't in love with them anymore. But I loved them. And that's also two different things. So my aunt told me something, and this is my takeaway because you know who's by the door. My takeaway is this: women, find you a man that loves you just slightly more than you love him. I'm not talking about a big margin, just a little bit, because that's the guy that will always be loyal. And that is the man you can always trust. And she told me that years ago, and I stand by it.
My
I believe it.
takeaway is, love it is what makes you feel good. If it's a friend, a best friend, a boyfriend, a husband, when you feel good, it's love. When you don't feel good, how you are treated, how you are spoken to, how somebody behaves, then probably it isn't.
I agree with that. And I piggyback off of that. Love should always make you feel good. It shouldn't be hard. Love is love. And everyone loves love. And it's fun to be in love. Maybe we'll circle back in 6 months from now and do this follow up episode, and you and I will both be in love. You never know.
I'm in love. I'm in love with life.
I'm in love with my life and Oliver and my family and everything else, but I'm talking about personally. Maybe we'll have significant others that we are in love with. Who knows? Anyway, it's just a thought. We love you, we hear you, and we see you. Look for us on ProblemSolvHer.com website, no E on solve, ProblemSolvHer on Instagram, YouTube, and the Chutzpah Girl on TikTok. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Love
you.
you lots. XOXO.
Bye. Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.